What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is John. Today I have for you a big box good, the Swift Volt e-bike I picked up at Best Buy for $799.99. Today we're doing a first impressions, an overview of the setup and installation, and unboxing, and most importantly a test ride. Today we'll cover what I like and dislike about this electric bike, and also go over some of the parameters you can set up in order to get riding, and also pay attention to the unboxing and first impressions and setup, because there are a couple of key points I need to make and things you need to look out for setting this bike up for yourself. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this unboxing and first impressions and test ride. Now, unboxing your e-bike for the first time, you'll notice that the back tire and the main frame come pre-assembled, but the front tire, the pedals, the seat, and the handlebars disassembled. The reason I'm holding this piece is because it actually comes pre-installed on the front tire, and you're wondering probably why. Well, that's because it's used to torque down the nut of the front tire to the front axle of the bike. Not the end of the world if you throw this away, because you can obviously install the nut without it. It does come with separate tools in the box that allow you to do so, but in order to make the setup process swifter, no pun intended, and easier, simply installing the front tire with this on will allow you to, in essence, tighten it down to the front axle without needing to reach for the secondary tool. Now, speaking of tools, in the box you'll find that you get a multifaceted wrench. It has different sizes for all the different types of nuts you'll find, and also not one, but 2 and 3 Allen keys. Now, this thicker Allen key, which is actually the thickest Allen key, has a screwdriver on it, allowing you to tighten screws if you need. Also in the box is a quick start guide, which actually covers the LED monitor, which actually tells you the battery, your speed, how many miles you have traveled or kilometers. Not only does it cover the basic functions, how to operate the bike from the LCD monitor, which is basically where you operate the bike from 95% of the time, it also covers charge level, battery indicator, and also some quick troubleshooting tips. You can actually also scan a QR code to get more detailed information, such as how-to videos on Swift's website. And last but most importantly not least is the operation manual. Compared to the quick start guide, the operation manual is more detailed and in-depth, but still lacking. We will of course talk about how to convert kilometers per hour to miles per hour, which is exactly what I had to do. But to get a more detailed overview of the bike's specifications and features, the operation manual here is great to look at. And don't be intimidated by the fact it's 10 pages long. Only 3 of those pages are dedicated to assembling this bike. I was able to assemble this bike in under 30 minutes. Okay, so now that we've done the basic introduction, let's actually talk about the unboxing and first impressions. So first and foremost, a lot of paper and tape and styrofoam inside. Also, what you'll note is I'm about 6'2", 6'1". This box on its side is roughly 5'11", 5'10". It also weighs 59.5 pounds, so call it 60 pounds. Just to give you a good idea, I was able to fit this in the trunk of an economy car with the seats down. That economy car, to be specific, was a Hyundai Elantra, which is an economy car. I was able to get this in a Hyundai Elantra Uber from Best Buy back to my house. So not an issue. If you think you need a truck, then take a truck. But if you have a car, not an issue getting this into a car. Of course, at least a 4-door car, not a 2-door car. But like I said, 59.5 pounds, call it 60 pounds. And just to give you a good idea as to how wide this box is, if we can get it in frame here, you can see it's roughly 3 feet wide, 3.5 feet wide. In the box, a lot of protective cardboard and styrofoam to keep the bike safe, But just to clarify, in the box is a couple of smaller boxes that look as if they would hold parts or tools, but just as you can tell, nothing inside, not something you need to keep just to protect the bike. Don't be alarmed if you accidentally throw these away. Not a big deal, but as you could see, potentially confusing that they look like they can be opened and things would be inside, but not the case. Alright guys, so now that we've done the unboxing, the first impressions, let's talk about what I like and what I dislike about this bike. So the first point is the color, jet black, white lettering. This of course signifies a road bike, something that you can ride in the street, in the bike lane, not on the sidewalk. Now in previous videos I've mentioned black at night, white during the day, and Swift does make a white bike, but that bike is a cruising bike, much more suited for the sidewalk. This bike in difference is actually more suitable for the road. Now in the user manual, Swift recommends not riding this bike at night. Now it does have a headlamp, not the brightest or the furthest distance seeking headlamp, but the reason why I also suggest riding this during the day and not at night is because of the low profile tires, which like I said, are more in tune with what you would find on a road going bike. The reason not meant for riding at night is because unable to see, of course, holes and cracks in the road, bumps, anything that could potentially bend your rim or damage your tire. Like I said, this is a road going bike. First and foremost, riding a dark bike in the middle of the road at night, not the best idea. And also, like I said, because it's a road going bike with low profile tires, you want to be able to see cracks and holes and divots in the road so that you can avoid them, reducing the risk of damaging your tires. Okay, let's talk momentarily about ergonomics. So on the bike, you can actually set the speed assist level using the up and down arrow keys between 1 and 3. You can also enable the headlamp by long pressing on the up arrow key, but in order to do things like reset the trip odometer, of course, you'll have to hold the up and down arrow key at the exact same time. These buttons are pretty dull, not clicky or tactile. You will need to be off the bike in order to reset things like your trip and also set voltage levels as well as other important settings off the bike. On the bike, like I said, the ergonomics are great for adjusting the assist level or, like I said, turning the headlamp on and off, and most importantly, turning the bike on and off. One additional important feature we need to discuss and demonstrate: in the user manual, Swift encourages riders be at least 5'11" or taller to ride this bike, leading me to my next point, ground clearance. So tilting the bike roughly 30 degrees from 90 degrees upright, you can see that it requires you be at least 70 degrees or greater with the pedal down in order to avoid incident. Of course, because of the bike's low profile tires, riding or turning a corner pedal up, for example, much more leeway, but pedal down, as you can see, requires the rider, like I said, to be at least greater than 70 degrees to avoid incident, to avoid scraping the pedal on the ground. And last but most importantly not least is safety. So let's talk about the disadvantages and advantages to this bike regarding safety. So first and foremost, like I mentioned in previous segments, black bike, white lettering, not ideal for riding at night, hard to see. The headlamp on the front isn't all that bright. It only shines a couple of feet. It's really wider than it is further seeking. Secondly, and actually most importantly, always wear a helmet. Now, what I like about this bike, what does make it safer than a manual pedal bike, is of course the fact that because it has a battery, you can actually trigger the motor and pedal at the same time, almost as if it has some kind of boost or turbo mode, in turn making it easier actually to get away from impatient drivers. So a lot of times riding the road, of course, you'll come across drivers impatient, waiting for you at a stop sign. being able to pedal and trigger the electric motor and get away from that person makes this a much safer option, I think. And also, one final point I need to make is because this bike does make it tempting to ride in the road, and because it is capable of riding in the road, it's actually more suitable for the road. Just be cognizant, staying in the bike lane and not crossing with cars at intersections. Instead, use the crosswalk for pedestrians. This is not a street legal vehicle. It does have a headlamp, but no turn signals or headlights. And last, most importantly, not least, always wear a helmet. Now, one of my biggest complaints actually about this bike is the charging cover, and it might seem like nitpicking, but if I ever get caught in the rain, I need this port to remain dry. And as you can see, this rubber nib that covers it has a really hard time staying in. Not sure if you can see it. It's black. It blends in with the bike. The good news here is it's a sleek, slender profile, so riding this in the rain shouldn't be too terrible of an issue, but I would have liked to have seen, instead of this hanging off and not staying in place, maybe just a little bit better design. Now, of course, one of my favorite features and one of the most welcome features is the sturdy and robust kickstand. You can see it's got this sort of abnormal shape to it, not just some thin metal rod like you would expect on a normal street bike. Definitely beefed up and meant to last and hold the bike upright, not something you would want tipping over. Really happy to see that that's a nice, thick, sturdy, robust plastic. Now, one thing I forget to mention is one of the most important features, and that is bike security. So not only can you set a passcode on the LCD display, but tying the bike to any sort of post, what's different actually and advantageous, I would say, about having an electric bike is the value of the bike itself is not in the tires or the handlebars or the seat. It's actually the fact that it's electric and has a battery. So in order to steal the bike and get the value of stealing a bike, you would actually have to steal the frame. I think you can imagine that, right? So it actually makes it more secure in a way to just be able to tie the frame and not necessarily worry about the tires, because those are pretty much invaluable compared to the battery of the bike. Anyways, guys, that has been an unboxing and first impressions of the Swift Volt e-bike I picked up at Best Buy for $799.99. Because I picked it up at Best Buy, that makes it a big box good. Today, you saw some quick tips how to assemble this bike faster and easier, not using the tools. We also talked about safety tips, things like ground clearance. One feature I forgot to mention earlier is battery. So charging this up after about 5 hours, you have a full charge. It's capable of driving 20 miles an hour up to 30 miles. But one thing I forget to mention is for each mile per hour lost is battery power lost. So during your ride, roughly after the first hour or so, you'll notice the bike gears down to 19 miles per hour from 20 miles per hour. And this is in large part due to the battery draining. So a little bit different actually. There is a bit of a discrepancy between the battery indicator on the LCD display and how fast the bike travels. So not able to sustain the 20 miles per hour the entire duration or longevity of your battery. It does reduce by a mile per hour, but that being said, is a great way of knowing your battery is dying. Simply charge it up 3 to 5 hours overnight and you'll be back at 20 miles per hour the next day. We also talked about ergonomics and things I liked and disliked about this bike. It's a great sturdy build. It was simple to put together, took me no more than 30 minutes, actually took me less than 30 minutes. With that being said, let's close this video out. I really hope you enjoyed this unboxing and first impressions, and hopefully it gave you some useful information to help you make a better decision purchasing an electric bicycle. My name is John. Thanks again so much for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notified when I post to YouTube, and share this video with friends and family. Thanks again so much for tuning in. My name is John. I will see you in the next video.